What is texture? Kinds of texture. Texture is the way something looks and feels. We can feel texture when we touch something. We can also see the texture of something with our eyes. Rough, smooth, bumpy, and soft are all types of textures. A cotton ball has a soft texture. Sand has a rough texture. Sand feels rough when you touch it. Artists use texture. We can add textures to artworks in many ways. When we paint, we can use watercolor paints on shiny paper. The picture we make will look flat and smooth. The artists use watercolor paints to make this picture. It looks flat and smooth. Making thick layers. We can add thick layers of paint to a painting. We can put a lot of paint on the brush and make short lines. This can give the painting a bumpy texture. We can also use a sponge to paint. Painting with a sponge gives the picture a rough texture. The artists use thick layers of paint to give this picture a bumpy texture. What we paint on. Sometimes artists paint pictures on canvas. Canvas is a kind of cloth. It can give the picture a rough texture. A long time ago, people painted pictures on paper made from plants. The paper gave the painting a rough texture. This painting was done on paper made from plants. Texture from tiles. We can use tiny tiles to make art. We can create a picture by placing different colored tiles in a pattern. Each tile is smooth, but together the tiles create a bumpy picture. This pattern was made with many small tiles. Texture in clay. There are many other ways we can add texture to artwork. To add texture to art made of clay, we can carve lines and shapes into the clay. The artist carved the shapes of an eagle into this clay tile. Gluing on texture. We can also glue objects to a picture to add texture. Yarn, cotton balls, dried pasta, and colored sand all add texture. Have you ever glued pasta onto one of your pictures? Making a rubbing. We can make a smooth piece of art look as if it has texture. We can do this by coloring over a rough material, such as a leaf or a coin. This is called making a rubbing. To make a rubbing, lay your paper over the rough material and rub a crayon over the page. This girl is making a rubbing of a leaf. Texture in drawings. We can add texture to our drawings too. We can use different kinds of lines, shapes, and colors to give our drawings texture. We can show the soft texture of a lion's mane by drawing thin, curving lines close to each other. The artist used many thin lines to make this lion's mane look soft. Texture in nature. Many artists get ideas from things they see in nature. The next time you are outside, look at all the different textures you see. There is art all around you. What textures can you find in nature? The end.